Hello and welcome to Daily News Simplified, the why, what and how of newspaper reading. Today's DNS has been divided into two parts. One part is being done by me and the other part is being done by Navid sir. And today we will discuss the articles displayed on the screen from the Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 23rd December 2018. So let's start. Now this article on page number 9 is related to a new bridge which is being inaugurated on 25th December, that is the Good Governance Day by the Honorable Prime Minister of India. Now what is important for us from preliminary examination point of view is the location of this bridge. Further, how will this bridge help in reducing the distance in the northeastern part of India? So this will form a part of the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic current events of national importance. Plus we will also look at the geographical aspect of this bridge. So regarding the location of Bogibeel Bridge, you should note that it is a combined road and rail bridge. And it has been constructed over the river Brahmaputra as can be seen in this map. And it is located between the Dhemaji and the Dibrugarh districts of Assam. Further, it connects the north and the south bank of river Brahmaputra as can be seen in this map. Further, this bridge is about 4.94 kilometers long. Now this bridge becomes important because it is located in the northeastern part of India, and we know that the northeastern part is strategically very important for India. This is because it is surrounded by China on the northern side and the Myanmar on the eastern side. Now as this is strategically very important, it will help the Indian armed forces to move men and material to Arunachal Pradesh in a faster manner. And it is expected that it will reduce the distance between Assam and Arunachal Pradesh by about 600 kilometers. So as can be seen in the map, and we know that India has had border problems with China. And the presence of army in Arunachal is of utmost importance from security point of view. That is why this bridge becomes strategically very important for India in the northeastern part. So what is important for us from exam point of view is the location of this bridge and on which river it has been constructed. So after going through these points, you should try and answer this question from your preliminary examination point of view. And the answer for this question will be displayed after 5 seconds. So the correct answer in this case is that it is located on the river Brahmaputra. And with this, let us move on to the next article. This article on page number 12 is related to a case of illegal mining in Meghalaya. And this has led to the death of 15 coal mine workers. So in this regard, you should understand that in Meghalaya, a typical type of mining is prevalent. And it is known as rat hole mining. So if you look at the syllabus, it will form a part of the General Studies paper 3 under the topic Environment and Disaster Management. And if you go through the previous year questions, you will find that in the year 2013, there was a question related to the consequences of illegal mining. So in this article, we will try to understand what is rat hole mining and why has it been banned by the National Green Tribunal. So that is why this topic will become important for us from mains examination point of view under the General Studies paper 3. So now let us understand what is meant by rat hole mining. So it involves digging of small tunnels which are about only 3 to 4 feet high. Now as you can see in these pictures, these tunnels have very small openings and they normally have a height of about only 3 to 4 feet. And in these small tunnels which are used for mining, usually children are employed for extracting coal from these mines. And in these tunnels, workers usually go inside until they find the coal seams. So simply these are small tunnels which have very low height which are dug into the slopes where the coal is found. Now as these tunnels are very small, they are termed as rat holes. Now these small tunnels in the rat hole mining are very dangerous during the times of rainfall. This is because they become flooded during the rainfall season and it leads to death of workers at times. So now let us understand why has the National Green Tribunal banned this type of mining in Meghalaya. Now a petition was filed in the National Green Tribunal and the NGT banned this type of mining because the mining in coal belts and coal stockpiles in the Jaintia hills of Meghalaya were polluting rivers and streams which are flowing into Assam. So this type of mining was leading to river pollution which is dangerous to aquatic life and it was leading the water in the rivers unfit for drinking or irrigation. So this was one of the reasons cited by NGT in banning this type of mining. Further, the NGT considered this type of mining as unscientific and unsafe. This is because during the rainy season, water flooded into the mining areas and it resulted into death of many workers. So the two reasons which were cited by the National Green Tribunal in banning the rat hole mining were that First, it was leading to pollution of rivers and streams. And secondly, it was unscientific and was leading to death of workers during the rainy seasons due to flooding. Now, despite a ban by the National Green Tribunal, such kind of mining is continuing in the state of Meghalaya. This is because most of the politicians and big businessmen have invested in these kind of mining. And due to the lack of regulation and illegal mining, it is leading to death of many workers during the mining. After going through these points, you should try and answer this question from your mains examination point of view. And a very simple question can be asked in the General Studies paper 3. That is, what is meant by rat hole mining and why has the National Green Tribunal banned this type of mining? So you can cite both the reasons which have been cited in this article, and also you can explain what is rat hole mining and where it is normally prevalent. So with this, let us move on to the next article. This article on page number 1 in the section 2 of The Hindu reads that the NGT has banned mining in the areas nearby the Sariska Tiger Reserve. So this will form a part of the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic General Issues on Environment and Biodiversity. So now what is important for us from exam point of view in this article is the location of the Sariska Tiger Reserve and some basic facts related to the Sariska Tiger Reserve. So let us try to understand some facts which are related to the Sariska Reserve from our preliminary examination point of view. So here you should note that Sariska Tiger Reserve is located in the state of Rajasthan and it is a part of the Aravalli Hill Range. And an important fact related to the Sariska Tiger Reserve is that 90% of the area of this tiger reserve is covered by a tree called the dhok tree. And further, this reserve is also known for its copper reserves. Now the location of tiger reserves is important for us from exam point of view. So you should go through this question and try to answer this question from your preliminary examination point of view. And the answer for this question will be displayed after 5 seconds. So the correct answer here is C, that is 2 and 3 are correctly matched. This is because the Palamau Tiger Reserve is located in the state of Jharkhand and not in the state of Chhattisgarh. And with this, let us move on to the next article. This article on page number 14 states that the Sikkim's highest forest zone could get denser because of global warming. So this will form a part of the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic General Issues on Environment and Biodiversity. Now the article states that the timberline in the Kanchenjunga National Park is not shifting upwards as has been seen in other parts of the world. However, it is getting denser because of the global warming. Now simply you should understand that timberline is that zone on the mountain beyond which no tree forests or tree canopies are found. For example, as one moves from the base of the mountain towards the top, there will be a zone beyond which no forest canopy will be found. And this last zone where the forest canopy is found is known as the timberline. Now in this regard, the scientists have found that in other parts of the world, due to global warming or climate change, this timberline is moving upwards or towards the top of the mountains. However, in the Sikkim, in the Kanchenjunga National Park, this timberline is not moving upwards and is becoming dense due to the global warming. So the article explains that due to the cold climate on the high altitude mountain tops, usually no trees grow above the timberline. So as we had seen in the diagram in the previous slide, beyond this timberline, there are no forest canopies found. However, due to global warming, this trend is changing and the timberline is moving upwards. Now the researchers have found that Eastern Himalayas is an exception to this upward shift in the timberline trend. And in the Eastern Himalayas, the tree line is becoming denser rather than shifting upwards. So this means that this tree line is becoming denser and is not shifting upwards towards the mountain top. So now this simply indicates that ecotone could become denser in the near future. Now regarding ecotone, you should note that it is a transition zone between two biomes. So now let us understand the definitions of the tree line, the timberline and the ecotone. Now regarding the timberline, you should note that it is the uppermost limit of canopy forests on the mountains. The timberline represents the uppermost limit of the forest on the mountain. Now this does not mean that trees don't grow beyond this timberline. Now although the trees grow beyond this timberline, they do not show a canopy of forest. However, tree line is different from the timberline in the sense that it is the edge of the habitat at which trees are capable of growing. So simply a tree line is normally beyond the timberline. So beyond this tree line, no trees are found on a mountain. So simply tree line is the edge of an habitat below which trees are capable of growing. And beyond this tree line, no trees grow. And regarding the ecotone, you should note that it is a transition area between two biomes. For example, the transition zone between a terrestrial biome and an aquatic biome is an estuary. And normally in these ecotone regions, the biodiversity is generally high. So these three concepts should be kept in mind: the difference between the timberline and treeline, and the definition of ecotone. Now, after understanding the key facts in this article, let us try to understand some facts related to the Kanchenjunga National Park. So, Kanchenjunga is a national park which is located in the state of Sikkim in India. It is also a biosphere reserve and has been listed under the Man and Biosphere Program of the UNESCO. Further, it is also listed as a World Heritage Site by the UNESCO. The important tribal community that is found in this Kanchenjunga National Park is the Lepcha tribe. And this park contains an important monastery known as the Tholung Monastery. So these points become important for us from preliminary examination point of view. And these points are that Kanchenjunga Biosphere Reserve has been listed in the Man and Biosphere Program of the UNESCO. It has been listed as a World Heritage Site in the UNESCO. And the important tribes found in the Kanchenjunga National Park is the Lepcha tribe. And the Tholung Monastery is also located in this park. Now, after going through this discussion, you should try and answer this question from your preliminary examination point of view. And answer for this question will be displayed after 5 seconds. So the correct answer here is D, that is 1, 2 and 3. And with this, let us move on to the next article. Now, this article on page number 4 and 5 in the section 2 of the newspaper is related to an important variety of rice. And the important feature of this rice variety is that it is a salt-tolerant species. Further, it has also received a geographical indication tag and is grown in the state of Kerala. So this becomes important for us from preliminary examination point of view under the topic environment and biodiversity. So in this, we will try to understand the important features of this type of paddy cultivation, and we will also learn about some key facts related to the geographical indication tag. Now, the name of this variety of rice is the Pokkali Paddy, and it has received a geographical indication tag. And an important feature of this type of rice is that it is a salt-tolerant variety of rice, and it is grown in the coastal areas of the state of Kerala. Now, this variety of rice is in news because this has survived the devastating floods in the state of Kerala. And they have survived these devastating floods because they are salt water tolerant. Now, regarding the importance of this type of cultivation, you should note that it is a perfect example of sustainable and environment-friendly agriculture. Now, this is because after this type of rice is grown, fish farming is followed. Now, the waste that is generated during the cultivation of paddy is used by fish as food and shelter. And further, the excreta which is given out by the fishes is used as an important manure for the next season of the Pokkali rice. So simply, the paddy cultivation is followed by fish farming, and the waste generated during the paddy, for example, the stubble, is used by fish. Further, the excreta which is generated by the fish is used as an organic manure in the paddy cultivation for the next season. So that is why this becomes sustainable and environment friendly in nature. So that is an important aspect of the Pokkali paddy cultivation. Now, as this rice has got a geographical indication tag, let us try to understand some basic facts related to the geographical indication tag. Now, geographical indication tag refers to the country or the place where this type of product is generated. So basically, the GI tag is related to the place of origin of a product. Now, let us understand why is the geographical indication tag important for products. Now, this type of tag provides a unique quality and identity to a product. Further, this tag conveys the distinctiveness which is attributed to its geographical origin. So this tag shows its uniqueness due to its typical geographical location. Further, this tag allows these products to command a premium price when they are sold in the market. Now further, this tag allocates the product as a public property, and this becomes unauthorized for use by any company. And further, it confers a legal protection to the product. So simply, the GI tag conveys a different kind of quality and identity for a product. It also reflects the uniqueness of its geographical origin. Further, it is sold at a premium price because of this tag. And it cannot be used by any other company and has a legal protection. Now let us understand about the geographical indication tag which is provided in India. Now, being a member of the World Trade Organization, India enacted the Geographical Indication of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999. Further, this tag is administered by the Controller General of Patents, Design, Trademarks or Registrar of the GI, and they fall under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So these facts are important for us from prelims examination point of view. Now previously two questions have been asked on the geographical indication in the preliminary examination. For example, this question was asked in the year 2015 and the question reads, which of the following has or have been accorded the geographical indication status? The first in this line is the Banaras brocades and the saris. Second is Rajasthani dal bati churma and third is the Tirupati laddu. Now here you should note that the Rajasthani dal bati churma has not been accorded the geographical indication tag. So the correct answer was C, that is 1 and 3 only. Now this question was asked in the year 2018 in the prelims examination. And the question read, India enacted the Geographical Indications of Goods, Registration and Protection Act 1999 in order to comply with its obligations too. So in this regard we know that India enacted this act in order to comply with the obligations to World Trade Organization or the WTO. Now, after going through this discussion, you should try and answer this question from your preliminary examination point of view. The answer for this question will be displayed after 5 seconds. So the correct answer here is that it is grown in the state of Kerala. And with this, let us move on to the next article. Now, with today's newspaper, there is a Sunday magazine which is attached to it. And this Sunday magazine has covered all the major environmental happenings of year 2018. So it is suggested that you should go through this Sunday magazine in detail and you will find some important points for your preliminary examination as well as mains examination and essay point of view. So here we will be covering some of the important highlights of this Sunday magazine and some other aspects which are important for us from exam point of view. Now this Sunday magazine has certain highlights related to various environmental disasters that are prevalent in our times. In this regard, it reads that the human beings have eradicated 60% of the wildlife since 1970. Further, it says that half of the Great Barrier Reef is bleached due to global warming. Further, it states that the number of white rhinos have now reduced only to 2 due to hunting and poaching. So these are few environmental facts which can be used in your mains examination as well as essay writing. Similarly, there are various positive environmental initiatives that have also been highlighted in this Sunday magazine. So you should go through these articles to understand these in details. Further, these can be quoted as examples in the mains and the essay writing. Now on the page number 3, an article is given which reads that the United Nations Wildlife Summit. So in this regard, India will host the United Nations next Global Wildlife Conference in the year 2020. So this will form a part of the preliminary examination syllabus under the topic General Issues on Environment and Biodiversity. Now this has been decided in the Convention of Migratory Species or the Bonn Convention in the present year. So now let us understand some facts related to the Bonn Convention which are important for us from exam point of view. Now regarding the CMS COP, you should note that it is also known as Conference of Parties to the Convention on Conservation of Migratory Species of Wild Animals. And it is also known as Bonn Convention. Now this convention is held every 3 years. Further, it aims to conserve terrestrial, aquatic and avian migratory species throughout their range. And India will be hosting the 13th edition of this CMS COP. Further, an important fact that is related to the Bonn Convention is that it is the only international treaty which is devoted exclusively to the migratory animal species. And it was concluded under the aegis of United Nations Environmental Programme. Now, migratory species which are threatened with extinction are covered under Appendix 1 in this convention. However, those migratory species which need international cooperation are listed in the Appendix 2. Now, after going through this discussion, you should try and answer this question from your preliminary examination point of view, and the answer for this question will be displayed after 5 seconds. So the correct answer here is B, that is 2 only. This is because the Bonn Convention was not concluded under the aegis of United Nations Development Programme. However, it was concluded under the aegis of United Nations Environment Programme. Now, if you read the second statement, it reads that it is the only international treaty devoted. Now, normally there is a tendency in students to cancel out the statement which has only or the extreme statements. However, in this case, this statement is correct. So this point should be kept in mind, and it is a unique fact related to the Bonn Convention. On page number 8 in this Sunday magazine, you will find a reference of the Agenda 21, which was initiated by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So now here you should understand key facts that are related to Agenda 21, which are important for us from preliminary examination point of view. So regarding Agenda 21, you should note that it is a non-binding action plan of United Nations and it is related to sustainable development. And in this regard, you should note that the 21 here signifies the 21st century. So simply it is a sustainable development action plan for the 21st century. Further, it offers suggestions for sustainable ways to combat poverty and pollution. And it also aims at providing suggestions related to conservation of natural resources. Further, this Agenda 21 was conceived in the Earth Summit or the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, which was held in Brazil in 1992. And this conference is also known as the Rio Earth Summit or the Earth Summit. Now in the year 2016, there was a question related to the Agenda 21. The first statement reads that it is a global action plan for sustainable development. Now this statement is correct. However, the second statement reads that it originated in the World Summit on Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg in 2002. Now this statement is incorrect because it originated in the Earth Summit held in 1992. So the correct answer that comes out is A, that is one only. On page number 7 in this Sunday magazine, it provides certain biological breakthroughs in India in the year 2018. Now in this you should note that it has provided certain important locations and these become important for us from exam point of view. For example, it provides for the location Agastya Malai in Western Ghats. It also talks about Kibul Lamjao National Park in Manipur, etc. So let us look at certain important locations from our preliminary examination point of view. Now a species of hog deer has been spotted at the Kibul Lamjao National Park. So now let us learn about some key facts related to Kibul Lamjao National Park. First is that it is a national park which is located in the state of Manipur. Further, it is the only floating national park in the world. So this is another important fact. And it is a part of the Loktak Lake which is located in Manipur. And regarding the hog deer, you should note that it is listed as endangered category in the IUCN's red list. Further, regarding the Kibul Lamjao National Park, you should note that it is characterized by floating decomposed plant material. And this floating decomposed plant material is called as the fumdies. And this national park is famous for its endangered brow-antlered deer. And this deer is also known as the dancing deer. Another name for this deer is Sangai. Now in the year 2015, a question was asked related to the Kibul Lamjao National Park. So let us look at it. Now this question was asked in the 2015 and it reads that which of the following national parks is unique in being a swamp with floating vegetation that supports a rich biodiversity? So as we have learned, the correct answer is B, that is Kibul Lamjao National Park. So similarly, other important facts related to the important locations mentioned in today's Sunday magazine have been provided in the PDF which is attached to this video. So you should go through these details in the PDF. And with this, we have come to the end of today's discussion. Now let us move on to the question for the day.